welcome to Hangman Part 2. If you didn't watch Hangman Part 1, I suggest you go and watch it now, then you continue with Part 2. So I'm done with declaring my functions and all my variables. Now I'm going to define how I'm going to use my functions and give the basic define the basic control flow of Hangman. So first what we're going to do is we're going to create a do-while loop. The reason why I want to do while loop is because I'm going to do, first I'm just going to do the game, which play the game, and then I'm going to call the function play again, which will ask the user to enter Y, yes or no, if he wants to play again. But first what I need to do is I know that I'm definitely going to be executing this block over here because it's a do while loop. So now I'm going to reset the game, and then I'm going to say while my position is less than 6. The reason why it's 6 is because we have a in our board variable, right? We have a body. Let me just search F. Okay. We have a body. We have a head, and then another head, another head, another head, another head. So that is in a total of 6 heads, right? So since we have a total of 6 heads, our position, we would only want to we would only want to execute this loop and continue playing the game if our position is less than 6, because once we reach more than 6, that means we got out. Alright, so now that we're done this, just going to scroll up over here. What is going to be in our while loop? Well, first what we need to do is we need to have a letter from input. But before we do that, let us print our board, okay? Print our board. Print the board. Once we print the board, then we can say char guess guessed letter. Char guess. And then we're going to call the function guessWord, which we declared on line 7. And then what we're going to do is we have to test. We have to test whether that guess is already guessed. Because you don't want to test whether it's a good guess or not, because if you already guessed it, you don't want it to be an out. So we're going to go like this. If is already guessed. So now what we're going to pass in here is our guess. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to continue, print the board, and it's going to tell me to enter a letter. Now, else if what? Well, now I'm going to start to check whether that guess is correct or it's wrong. So then I'm going to call set blanks guess. And then that will basically check whether that letter that I just guessed is in the secret, and then it's going to turn these underscore characters, or these blanks, into the letters in their respective positions. Okay. Now, if this is true, meaning if I did get a correct letter, which set blanks will then return true, what I want to do now is check if I won, right? So once I get a correct letter, I should just check if I won. So if check if won, and then if that's true, I'm going to break. Why do I break? Because I won. Now, else, meaning if the blanks was false, let's say we guessed the wrong letter. So now that we guessed the wrong letter, so let's add that letter to our guessing bank. Alright, so we're going to go to our guessing bank, position. Why do we do position? Plus plus. Why do we do position plus plus? Because the guessing bank, the incorrect letters, you cannot get more than 6 incorrect letters because the game only goes until 6. So therefore, we're going to use the position variable. This means that we got it wrong, and the position variable will increment in the loop. So eventually, it's going to be equal to 5. And then if we guess one more letter, that means we ran out of our Hangman, because we're now up to the body, right? We started from head, and the head in the hand, the head in the body, the head in the hand, left hand, right hand, left leg, right leg. So when we're at the 5th position, this is going to be our right leg. And then the game will be over. But so that's why we're going to use position, because it's corresponding to the board. Okay? And you can only get a maximum of 6 incorrect letters. Alright, so now let us go guess letter. Let's put in guess. Once we have that, this is the basic control flow of Hangman, right? This is it. That's it. That's all you need to do. But now, when we break out of the loop, what does that mean? That means we go out, hold on, we go out from here, right? That means we're going to be on this line. So when we break, meaning if we won, there's 2 ways to break. There's 2 ways to get out of this loop. Either position is more than or equal to 6, or we break on line 33. So that means if we break on line 33, that means we won. If position is more than or equal to 6, that means we lost. So we could just give a basic check. If position is more than or equal to 6, that means we lost. So we're just going to say print F, you lost. The word was %s, new line, and we're going to pass in secret. Now, what if that's not true? Meaning, what if we won? So then if we won, we're going to do else. Else, well, check if 1 is already going to print, right? We're going to already put it in our function. So we need to do that. Okay, so now let us go and define the reset function. Okay, let's go line by line. The reset function on line 27, well, what is that going to do? So void reset right here. Since it's a void function, we're not going to return anything. What this is going to do is going to basically reset the position to 0, because if I play again, the position is going to be equal to 6 or 5, whatever. So 6 if we lost. So therefore, we're going to reset it and set it to 0. And then what we want to do is pick a new word. Pick a new word. All right. That's all that the reset function is going to do. Okay. The next function is that we have reset, then we say while position is less than 6, then I'm going to print the board. So right now what we're going to do is define the function print board. Let us do that right here. Print board is also a void function, and what this is going to do, it's going to print the board. Well, where are we going to print? What are we going to print? We're going to print the board at the current position, and we're going to use the position variable again. So now we're going to say puts board, right? As I said in part 1 of this Hangman tutorial, we said that in line 22, the variable board is an array of character pointers. In other words, an array of strings. So if it's an array of strings and we want to extract one of these string elements, then what are we going to do is we're going to give, we're going to put in the brackets and give that array an index. It's going to fetch it, it's going to return a character pointer, which is a string, terminated by a null line, right? So what we're going to do here is we're going to enter position, and now we got the, we just printed the board. What else do we want to print? Well, the board is the board, the body, and whatever, and then we want to say print F, we want to print our blanks, right? Alright, so this will do it, blanks. I'll do it like this, okay, good, blanks. And the blanks is, you know, the underscores, these bunch of underscores where you're currently guessing the word. Alright, so now we printed the board, and now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the next line. So in the next line, in line 30, we guess equals guess word. So what guess word is going to do, it's just simply going to fetch a character, and it's going to return that character, and that's where we assign that character to the variable guess. It's a local variable in our function main. All right, so let us go ahead and define the function guessWord. GuessWord is obviously going to return a char, right? GuessWord, let's say over here. So what is it going to be in guessWord? Well, first of all, we have to tell the user some sort of print message to enter a letter. So we're going to say like this, enter a letter, enter a letter. Then we tell the user to enter the letter, and then we're just going to get that letter, get char. But let us do some testing on this, because what if he entered a number? What if he entered 2 letters? What if he just pressed enter, enter, and didn't enter any letters at all? So therefore, we have to test for all the possible cases and tell the user maybe to enter a letter again. So we're going to say like this. First, we're going to test for a new line. First, we're going to test for we're going to test whether that letter is one letter. Here's what I mean. So let's just test all the possible cases of errors. Okay, so if get char, what I'm going to do here is if get char is not equal to new line. Well, what does this mean? What this means is that when I enter a letter, let's say I'm entering a letter. Let me just give you an example. Let's say if I'm entering a letter, so I enter the letter C, right? And then I'm supposed to press enter. So when the program reads, get char is first going to read C, then get char is going to read a new line. So what does that mean when I read a new line? When I read a new line on the second call to get char, that means that I only entered one letter. But it doesn't mean that the letter that I entered was a letter. Maybe it's a number. But at least now we're only testing whether we only entered one letter. So if get char is not equal to new line, that means that we entered 2 letters, right? Because get char is equal to the second call to get char has to be equal to a new line, as I just showed you. So we're going to say now it's going to prompt a message to the user. It's going to say, please enter only one letter next time. Okay. Then what we want to do is we want to tell the user to guess again. What we have to do is what if he entered 5 letters? So get char is going to get the second call to get char is going to get the second letter from standard input, and the third call to get char will get the third letter. So we need to, but what if the user entered 100 letters? It's for fun. So we have to do a simple loop to get all the characters until I get a new line. So while get char is not equal to new line, I'm just going to keep on doing that. And it's just going to fetch and fetch until get char is equal to new line. That's when I know where the standard input is empty. And I can start reading new valid information. Okay? Then we're going to say else if. Else if is alpha, C, return to lower, C. Okay, so what is this doing? This is testing if get char is equal to the line. That means I only entered one letter. But maybe I entered a number. So now we're testing whether this is a number or not. So then we say if is alpha, meaning if it's part of the alphabet, it doesn't matter whether it's uppercase or lowercase. I'm just going to return the lowercase version of my character. But if not, that means we entered a number. So there are 2 cases, right? Either we enter a new line and then we have to get all the characters until the new line, but we know that it's an invalid situation if we enter this if statement, as it says, please enter only one letter next time. Else if it's an alphabet, and if that's not true, meaning it's a number, so then we want to tell the user to enter a letter again. So what we're going to do is we're going to return, meaning if we didn't return yet, we're just going to return guessWord. We're going to return the function. This is a recursive call because we want to just start that function over, because either the user entered entered more than one letter, or the user entered only entered a number. Okay. So that is guess word. So now that we have guess word, what we're going to do now, let's look at the next line. Line 31, we have guess word. Okay, so now this gets the guess from standard input. Now, on line 31, it's already guessed, is we're going to test whether that guess that I just guessed, a lot of guesses over here, whether that guess that I just guessed is in the already guessed, meaning is it in the guessing bank variable. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to define the function is already guessed. Okay, so I'm just going to define it here. It obviously returns an int for the Boolean value. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is if is in word, yes, guessing bank. So if it's in the word, I'm going to say like this: you already guessed that letter. Meaning, and then I'm just going to return 1 to indicate that, yeah, in fact, I did already guess that letter. So do we have, I don't know if our function is in the word is declared. So let's see if it's declared. No, it's not declared. Okay, we're going to have to declare this function called is in word. And what this is going to accept, it's going to accept a char and a char pointer. And let's just scroll down. Okay. So that is the function for, that is the code for is already guessed. All right. Okay, so now that we have is already guessed, let's see what's on the next of our control execution in our while loop. Okay, so if is already guessed, let's say that's not true. That means we entered a new letter that the program did not encounter. Okay, set blanks. So what set blanks is going to do, it's going to check whether that letter is in my secret. So what we're going to do is we're going to define set blanks. Set blanks also returns an int because it's used in an if statement, and the int is going to determine the Boolean value. Int set blanks. Alright, so set blanks, it also accepts a guess to test a certain character, whether it's in the secret word. So right now what we're going to do is define the blanks function. So what is going to be in the blanks function? What's going to be in the blanks function is just a simple iteration over the length of the secret variable and just some assigning. So you're going to assign the guess to the blanks if it's found in the secret. So let me show you what I mean. So I'm going to say Boolean is equal to 1, 0. Because we're going to have to return true or false whether the guess was actually found in the secret. Then I'm going to say for int I is equal to 0, I is less than length plus I. And what we're going to do here now is we're going to test if. Well, if I, secret I, at the position I is equal to guess, that means that letter that we just guessed was found. First of all, what we're going to do is now set the blanks, the underscore, at the position I to guess. And we're going to set Boolean is equal to 1 to indicate that we just found at least one guess in the secret. And then we're going to say return Boolean. That's all that there is to set blanks. Okay, so this is it till part 2. In part 3, I'm going to define the other remaining functions, and we will finish it off from there, and we will hopefully have a successful running Hangman program. All right, guys, see you later.